weekdays at 10:06 on Central Illinois Ag Station, WHOW.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the Zoom this morning is Mr. Adam Clapp, Superintendent of Monticello Schools. Good to see you, Mr. Clapp. How you doing?
Great, Seth. How are you?
I'm trying to stay warm. My office on the other side of the building is awfully cold, and you're in an empty building today. So how about you? You doing all right?
Yeah, doing okay. It is a little different being in the building when those students are here, but we're glad everybody's safe and sound and staying warm at home today.
Sure. Well, of course, e-learning in Monticello today, Mr. Clapp. What was that? What did that decision come down to for you all? Was it the cold? Are some of the rural roads still bad? Is it all the above? What was going on with your decision for that today?
Yeah, just in yesterday evening, just looking at the forecast for this morning and driving the roads last night, the compacted snow on the country roads kind of made it a slick hazard out there. But I mean, I wouldn't say if it was just the roads we were dealing with, we would be out today. But when you combine the road conditions and the frigid temperatures in the morning, that made for like a recipe for potential hazard. So, either one of those by themselves, we would likely be in school today. But when you combine the conditions of the roads and the cold temperatures, and then the winds were to pick up this morning as well, so there was potential for drifting. So that's why we're in e-learning today, and we're fortunate we're able to do that. But there was a lot that went into that decision last night when we made the call.
Sure, and of course, why e-learning versus just a regular snow day?
For us, we have at the high school we have finals coming up, so we wanted our students to still be engaged in those classes in their review days today and tomorrow. So it just made sense, and being able to call it a day or like the night before allows teachers, students, parents to prep for that e-learning day. If we were to call it this morning, not saying it would be 100% a snow day, but it would be more likely that we would have to call a snow day if we didn't have as much time to prepare.
Sure. So e-learning in Monticello, Mr. Clapp, let's kind of go there next. What does e-learning look like for your students? And I venture a guess e-learning is probably different for K through 3 versus 4 through 8 and then high school. So what does e-learning kind of entail for those various levels and those various students?
You hit right on the head, Seth. It basically comes down, we kind of look at it building by building. So Washington, which is pre-K through 3, and then Whiteheat's 4-5, middle school 6 through 8, and high school 9 through 12. E-learning looks a little bit different in each of our buildings. So at the lower elementaries, it's more, you may check into Google Classroom, and there may be a video to watch, but it also could be in the form of paper pencil packet that you may have in advance of the day. So when winter weather starts, which this year it started much earlier than it has in the last few years, our teachers prepare our students prior to any e-learning day possibilities. So like my elementary student, fourth grader, she had a packet last week that in the case of an e-learning day, this is what she would be working on. Able to check Google Classroom, get lessons there as well. When you move up, as you get older, at the middle school, you check into Google Classroom. All of our assignments are posted by 9 a.m., and teachers are available between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. To answer any questions or to provide live lessons or just to provide that feedback when we're turning in assignments. At the high school, we do have synchronous learning where we will have live Zoom lessons for certain classes, but it varies by department. So in our upper level math classes, we know we have to hit those review days really hard prior to finals. So there'll be some live Zoom lessons today in those classes, but also all of the assignments are posted in Google Classroom for student access. So we're happy we're able to do that. I would say that's one of the things that was positive from COVID. We were able to learn the best ways to still connect with our kids when they were not in the building. So that's something that's a product of COVID that we've continued. Ideally, best way to learn is in person in the classroom, but we feel like on a day like today, where the temperatures are not conducive to being outside in general, being able to be working on classwork and preparing for the upcoming days right before break is well worth it.
Sure. So how do you approach after school activities on a day such as this?
Yeah. So even with snow days and snow days or e-learning days, we discuss with other local superintendents and school districts to see what they are seeing out there as well, and we try to make decisions on afternoon activities by noon. So after I get off the call here, we'll be talking with local athletic directors and just to see what everybody else is seeing. It's interesting how when you look at the school closures for today, our neighbors kind of to the east and north, Mahomet, Unity, those school districts, St. Joe, all the Champaign area, they went out and canceled last night. Sir Gorderby Mint also canceled last night, but if you go further to the west in our Decatur area schools, those schools are in session today. So it's interesting how that all played out, but each district makes the decision that's best for them in the moment, but we'll be in contact with local school districts about evening activities, and we have several tonight, and hopefully the weather cooperates and we'll be able to continue those.
Sure. Mr. Adam Clapp is the superintendent of Monticello Schools, our guest on the Zoom here for this morning. And so, Mr. Clapp, when it comes to e-learning in Monticello, I know this is, probably has evolved a lot over the last few years, given, again, just kind of continued advancements in technology. You talk about Google Classroom, which really is able to connect, kids and teachers and schools and all those things. How often are you reviewing this this plan, making tweaks to it, adding adding things where technology allows? Talk about your process to get to where we are here today with this e-learning plan that you're executing today.
So I think the key here is we try to stay connected to each of our buildings. So we discuss this at the district leadership team meetings each year where we review our plan. But really, we look for feedback after our e-learning days from our staff, students, and parents, and just to see that we're meeting our kids where they are. We have Chromebooks available for those students who need to have a Chromebook at home, and it may be also like my own house, for example. My twins are in 8th grade, and my youngest is in 4th grade. We have one device for 3 students. So I am able to, we're able to check out a Chromebook here for that. With it being over the weekend, that was a little bit more of a challenge. But during the week, and we anticipate having e-learning day, we send Chromebooks home with kids that may need an extra Chromebook at home. So that's something that's involved over time. But the real key there is just to, after today's e-learning day, we'll touch base at each building and just see what went well and what did not go well, and if we have to adjust anything for the next time we have to use it, and hopefully we don't have to use it again. But it's the winter in Illinois. It could change day to day. So we have an e-learning day today, and it's going to be 50 on Thursday. So it's just wild.
It is. Welcome to Illinois, right? If you don't like the weather today, just wait till tomorrow. So, yeah, one of those things. And you talk about Chromebooks, Mr. Clapp. Some schools go iPads, some schools go with the Microsoft whatever that device is. I don't know what it is, but anyways, why Chromebooks? Where did you find the value in those for your district?
So I got to the district 9 years ago as the high school principal, and at that time we were becoming a Google school. We had Chromebooks in carts throughout each of our buildings, and that's kind of where we were 9 years ago, and we've just updated our carts as we've gone along. So all of our students have Google email addresses. and are able to access Google Drive and Google Classroom through that. So Chromebooks makes the most sense right now, and they're cost effective and they're durable. So if you've ever seen elementary school students and middle school students carrying Chromebooks through the hallways, sometimes you need some durability. So those work out really nice for us.
Are you suggesting that kids will drop these devices from time to time, Mr. Clapp?
Every once in a while, yes. The Chromebook security when they're walking down the hallway sometimes lacking, but yeah, the good news is, we're not necessarily a true one-to-one Chromebook to student ratio here as far as kids take them home every day, but we do have we're a one-to-one school district during the day, so each classroom has a Chromebook cart where students have access to a Chromebook as needed. But that's also a topic that we've revisited as a district leadership team and building leadership team. Is just we want to make sure the technology in a day-to-day learning situation is used as a tool, not just replacing the human side of the teaching component. So we review that each year as well, just how we're using technology to benefit kids and just not use it exclusively.
Yeah. You mentioned not being a one-to-one district per se. How does that work? Do you allow kids the autonomy to have their own devices at the school, or how does that work?
We have that policy. Typically, we don't have a lot of students bring their own devices, but we do have the opportunity to bring those in. But like I said, we're not a one-to-one per se as far as the kids have a Chromebook they take home every day. But in each class that a Chromebook is needed, there's a cart available that a student just grabs one out of the cart and goes. So although it's not the typical one-to-one model, it essentially works out that way. And if we have students that need to take a device home, they're able to check those devices out as well.
Sure. Of course, we we start the final week of the first semester with e-learning day. Let's just real quick get into the week schedule here. Do you have kids taking finals at the high school and those things? What's going on this week?
So the high school finals start on Wednesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they'll be taking finals. So that's an exciting time, kind of wrapping up the first semester. Each year, I always talk about, like, in the month of December, you feel like you jam 2 months worth of activities into about 2.5 weeks. So with our band and choir concerts, we just wrapped up our Madrigals dinner over the weekend. We actually had to we had it on Friday night, and we had to postpone Saturday's Madrigal dinner to Sunday evening due to the weather. But that's always well attended, and our kids do a great job. The Madrigals, they do caroling around each of our buildings. Christmas time in Monticello, just the holiday season in general at our schools is a great time, and just great attitudes and happiness, and our community involvement's great too. So it's just a really cool month of the year to be in Monticello schools.
And it's off to winter break and holiday hoopla and all the things. Let's talk about that on the other side of a break, Mr. Clapp. How do folks keep up with all things going on in your school buildings? Where do they go, and how do they follow?
Yeah, you got to check us out, www.sages.us, and check us out on X for all the updates as far as our evening events, school events, and the holiday hoopla. The holiday hoopla, 26th is the start of that, and we'll have about 300 volunteers over the course of 3 days put on the tournament. It's a really well-run event, and you've been a part of it for many years, and just really cool to see our different sports teams and community come together, and we'll have hundreds and hundreds of people in and out of our buildings, and we take it as an opportunity to showcase the cool things in our buildings and the programs that we support. And our Booster Club just does an awesome job running that event.
Sure. Well, let's talk about that more on the other side of a break. Again, with Mr. Adam Clapp, Superintendent of Monticello Schools, our guest. More to come with Mr. Clapp on the morning show.
WHOW.
A favorite trucker hat with a wedding tuxedo is certainly a unique combination, but not as crowd-pleasing of a combination as Cropland WinPak varieties. WinPak soybeans blend together two complementary varieties to help maximize yield potential and reduce risk across variable field conditions in many environments. Talk to your local cropland retail seed expert about WinPack varieties, one of the most unique concepts in soybeans today.
Over the years, Longview Community Bank has built up quite a business, and it's all thanks to you. Longview Community Bank feels that it is an appropriate time during this holiday season of peace on earth to thank all of you for your goodwill to them. Have a wonderful holiday from your friends at Longview Community Bank, with 3 convenient locations in DeWitt, Logan, and Ford counties. Your trusted partner in hometown banking. We are proud to continue investing in rural Illinois.
Here's Clinton Civil Lot owner Dave Jackson on how he monitors prices to help you save money.
I look and see what retail they are at, and I make that decision whether it is a key item or a mid-tier item as far as importance goes, and I make sure I'm either below or close. And in most cases, I try to go below.
Dave and his staff helps you save up to 40% on your grocery bill every day at your locally owned Clinton Save a Lot. And as Dave always says,
hope to see you soon.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Netflix buffering, YouTube spinning, devices not connecting, Zoom calls dropping. It's frustrating. Let's end your frustration by signing up for fiber internet in Clinton. Click the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Our guest on the Zoom today is Mr. Adam Clapp, Superintendent of Monticello Schools. Mr. Clapp, as we catch up here this morning, of course, you mentioned Holiday Hoopla, the days, I guess, that follow Christmas. You mentioned it's a Booster Club-driven event with tons and tons of volunteers. Again, remind us the dates, the times, or maybe not the times, but the dates of Hoopla and, just again, what Hoopla is.
So Hoopla, it begins on December 26th. It'll go December 26th, 27th, and 29th this year. So Friday, Saturday, and Monday. I believe this is our 28th annual Holiday Hoopla since it's been brought back. I believe it was a huge popular event back in the 60s and 70s, and then it took a little hiatus and came back in the 90s. But it's an awesome event just because, one, it's a great basketball tournament, a lot of great teams, both boys and girls. And if you're a traveling school or if you're just from Monticello, you have an opportunity to watch your boys' team play and your girls' team play at the same event. So that's a huge draw. But really, just a cool opportunity to see our community and our athletic teams come and support a tournament. So you'll have every team within the high school has a section of time where they work the event, whether it's concession stands, ticket taking, taking care of the floors, helping out with custodial work in both of the gyms. It's just awesome to see, our Booster Club and our teams kind of taking care of this and giving back. Our Booster Club does so much for all of our organizations here, and this is just a way that our players and parents and coaches are able to give back to the Booster Club. So it's a complete fundraiser. All proceeds go to the Booster Club to help support our athletes throughout the year.
Is this the biggest fundraiser for the boosters through the year?
Yep. So they do a couple other items. But mainly, we do some advertisement on the scores table and on the fence along 105. But as far as fundraising goes, this is the big fundraiser for the Booster Club. And, we're looking forward to another big turnout. It is going to be, with the way the tournament falls, where we have the first 2 days falling on a Friday, Saturday, and championship day occurring on Monday. That's a little bit different than we've it comes around like every 6 years or so, where it kind of falls on the weekend, and then it travels over to the next week. But we'll see how it goes. I'm still expecting a big crowd, and it's just an exciting time. A lot of great basketball, and get to see a lot of people back for the holidays. A lot of alumni come back to the tournament. Just really cool to catch up with some of the former players and just some of the community members that haven't been around for a while to get back into the gym. And so the first 2 days of the tournament, the girls' side we played in Miller Gym, the boys' side we played in Sievers, and then championship day, the preliminary games will be played in Miller, and then our trophy games are played in Sievers Center. So it's a really great time, and once again, Monticello puts on a great tournament, and that's because of all the volunteers that are able to do so.
Yep, sure. Mr. Clapp, any idea how much the boosters pour back into your programs? And if not, what are some of the big, I would say big ticket items, but things that they have done that the community would notice or has taken notice of? How about that?
Yeah, so I don't know the exact amount, how much they pour back into our programs, but it really does come down to how can the Athletic Booster Club enhance the programming here at Monticello High School. So they partnered with the district in our new weight facility, and the district and the Booster Club partnered on purchasing the weight equipment for the building. So that's a major piece of that project, and that's something that the Booster Club is very proud about. Several years ago, the Booster Club in the district partnered on the building of the press boxes at the baseball and softball complexes. And then each year, each team basically can apply for grant opportunities through the Booster Club to provide warm-ups, or maybe it's pieces of equipment that could enhance the program. Several years ago, the rebounding machines that are in Miller Gym and the Sievers Center, that basically it's a big net that kind of shoots you a pass. Those were Booster Club purchases several years ago. But each year, each team has the opportunity to apply for items through the Booster Club, and the Booster Club is very generous in granting those.
Sure. Very good. Well, on that note, Mr. Clapp, how do folks keep up with Hoopla and all the things going on at Monticello schools?
So www.sages.us, and then check out Dan Sheehan's X page and athletic Facebook page for all things Hoopla and all things Monticello sports.
Sounds good. Mr. Clapp, good to see you, sir. We'll see you at Hoopla.
All right, take care.
Very good. Mr. Adam Clapp, Superintendent of Monticello Schools, our guest on the Zoom for this morning. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Network news comes your way now.
WHOW.